Hello boys and girls, welcome to my channel. I'm ForClassic and welcome to BenchART. So for today what I do have in here is Hood, Outlaws and Legends, a game developed by Sumo Digital, and it is using Unreal Engine 4. And the real question is, can the MX130 2GB GDDR5 or the GT940 MX 2GB GDDR5 run this game? Well, that's a kind of so-so, so it's hard to tell, and it depends how well you are adapted to low frame rate. So let's start with the settings. So I'm running the game at 720p using the absolutely minimum settings. And yet I have done a match and this is the results that I got. So average of 27, 1% of 14, 69% of the time it was lower than 30 frames per second. So yeah, your experience will be overall between the 20 to 30. And that's about it. There are huge drops in frame rate when you simply die and you need to respawn, or when you open the map. When you do two of these kind of stuffs that I mentioned, the frame rate just drops under 20 frames per second. That is also when an enemy throws a smoke grenade or a gas grenade or something. When this happens to grenades, not bombs. We are on medieval in here. So when they throw smoke bombs or stuff like that, and there are a lot of particles on screen, what happens really is that also the frame rate drops under 20 frames per second. So on this video, on the overlay, the results will be even worse because I'm recording, and I think that 2GB of VRAM might not be entirely enough for this title, because at the end of the match the frame rate was just 15 frames per second by no apparent reason aside from VRAM usage. But yeah, that's about it. So essentially, without recording the experience that you can expect in this game regarding frame rate, it is really something in between the 20 to 30, but it can go under than 20 frames per second when you open the map, when somebody throws at you smoke grenade bombs, and stuff like that. So is this playable to you? I don't know. That's up to you to decide if this is playable or not. This is a DX12 title, so yeah, it's something that the MX130 or the GT940 MX, it isn't really that good, as you saw on previous titles that I did try. DX12, it is kind of a complicated thing for this card, but as far as I've noticed, this is the only API that you can choose. There is no DX11 support at the moment, at least I believe so, but who knows if somebody finds a way to activate DX11 in this card for this game. And if that happens, I might retest the game, because I'm pretty sure that if we find a way to work with DX11 in this game, the game will simply boost its performance, because of the fact that this GPU, it is not good doing DX12, let alone the fact that DX12 consumes more VRAM, alright, and we just have 2GB in here. But apart from that, it is super playable, and whatever if the frame rate was good or not, the thing is, we were able to win the match, and that's really what it matters the most. But yes, it was very choppy at times, and I killed tons of enemies in this match, alright, so I was really surprised with my own performance playing at this frame rate, but I was able to win the match. But I understand, this is a game that it is not free, it should cost you about 29 euros. So since it's a paid game, having this kind of experience, this type of frame rate, it doesn't combine, paying for something that runs really bad, especially on multiplayer games like this one, competitive multiplayer games. Fortunately, this is not a shooter, but if you select a different class, like for example an archer, playing at this frame rate might be very complicated. That's why I decided to go with this kind of tank character, which the only thing I can do is perform heavy attacks, light attacks, or stuff like block and stuff like that. So it's something that we can do easily at low frame rates. But if you go to play with an archer, where you need to point and shoot, playing at this frame rate might be really complicated to you, and it's hard to recommend. So this is the data that I have. You do what you have to do with this, judge if this is playable to you or not, buy or not the game. That's about it. But now let's talk a little bit about the game, shall we? So Hood, it is a quite simple game. It is a multiplayer only game, but you can select two different types of gameplay, of course. So for the benchmark, I decided to use the training mode. The training mode, it's you more with more free players, real players, not NPCs, but against NPCs. So the objectives are pretty simple and are equal between the two game modes that you have available. So the objective it is you need to find the sheriff and you need to steal his key. Then after you get the key, the game gives you some sort of suggestion where the vault should be, and you need to take the key and open the door of the vault, and as soon as you open the door, you see that there is a chest there, and the objective it is for you to pick up the chest, or one of your teammates, and you need that teammate or you to take the chest to an extraction point. The thing is, the guy that is carrying the chest usually can't attack. He needs to drop down the chest if he wants to attack, but it is much more slower, so he can't jump, he can't just go down through stairs, for example. He needs to take an alternative path, a safe path, in order to reach the extraction point. As soon as you reach the extraction point, there is a mechanism there that can take one or two teammates, and you need to rotate the mechanism in order to collect the gold that it is inside the chest. As soon as you collect the entire amount of gold, the game ends and you win the game. So it's essentially like this. There is capture points that resembles Battlefield. Those ones are pretty much just spawn points that allows you, if you die, to respawn more closer or on those capture points. So it's kind of a strategic thing. If you capture a strategic point near to the place of where you want to be, it means that if you die you can respawn simply there. So it's a nice thing. Alright, there are multiple different types of enemies. Some enemies are just weak. As soon as you collect the chest, enemies start to be more reinforced, and you just can't kill all of them with headshots, for example. They are just much more tough. And yeah, it's pretty much like that. And the sheriff, well, despite you steal his key, the sheriff, it is indestructible in this game. The only thing you can do is put him down, but after a couple of minutes, it just wakes up or recovers. Yeah, recovers, it is the right word. It just recovers and goes after you. And the sheriff, it is the NPC that with one hit he kills you. So it's the guy that you want to stay away from. So that is a very good explanation how this game works on their channel. There is a 8-minute gameplay which is very useful and explains how this goes. I was talking mostly about the training mode. The difference to the regular mode of the game is that it's not just your team against the NPCs, it's not PvA, it is PvP. But the objective it is the same. Instead of being only your team, there is another team on the match too, fighting for the same objective. So both of the teams, your team and your enemy team, have the objective to collect the sheriff key, to open the doors of the vault, and take the chest and collect as much gold as you can. So this game, honestly, it is exactly like Hunt Showdown. I'm not sure if you ever played Hunt Showdown, but it behaves exactly the same thing, but with a different team and a third-person informant. Now, the downside that I see for this game is that it costs you money. This is not a free-to-play game. It is a game that should cost you about 29.99 euros. I'm not going to say that it is expensive, because it is not, but honestly, there is so much offer in the free-to-play games at the moment that many people might not feel attracted to buy this game, and especially because I do find that this game might be very repetitive, because the objectives are always the same, you know. It's just steal the key to the sheriff, find the vault, take the chest and extract the chest. With the gold you can unlock new perks and for your characters, because each character have its own abilities. You can unlock weapons or better armors, but essentially, as far as I did understand, it is pretty much just that. Alright, so for $29.99, many people might find this game a little bit repetitive. Alright, but I mean, yeah, that's that. I'm not really sure if this game is going to win the enough popularity to be a great game, but at the moment all I can say is that as far as I tried to play, there was always people to play. But yeah, this is the release date anyway. So guys, thank you a lot for watching, hope you keep enjoying the rest of the video, and that we hope to see you soon. Goodbye.
Knight, here.
I heard something. Who's there?
Let my rage give me strength.
Come on, blacksmith. Heathen scum. Kill them. Die.
This will come in handy.
Alert. There may be more of them. Keep alert. There's
Excellent.
more of them.